Hello guys, Gladiator Bricks here with a challenge for everyone. Now, what would you do if your whole entire, if we were completely, if all of humanity was gone except something came back, nothing but dinosaurs returned, and pretty much had pretty much taken over the earth, and we were re-dominating, were re-infecting the earth. There'd be no survival. You would have no way of surviving it. I mean, there would be a lot of military destroyed. Let's just say these dinosaurs were strong enough to actually overthrow the military, which wouldn't be possible, but you would be pretty much alone in the jungle. Now, some people would think a stone house would be your best design to go for, like a strong cave or something. But no, caves never would be the answer. The answer is you gotta combat them using wit and gadgets. Not really, but you would need just about anything. Now, in this timeline, it would be hard to get guns and equipment unless you've learned to make flintlocks and other types of guns, which is pretty much an easy weapon to make. The flintlock only needs wood, some steel, a forge, and a few odds and ends, but still you could easily make a flintlock or muzzleloader. But the best weapon to go for would be the spear, a very long spear. Now this would be good against probably the smaller dinosaurs. Now the bigger ones you could probably at least deter them. The weapon would be long enough that you could just pretty much thrust it into the ground, and then the animal would run into it. While you were running, you could thrust it into the ground, and he would be like, "Roar!" Wish I could get him somewhere else. Pretty much the spear will go through him because it's thrust into the ground. And his own weight is pretty much going on it. But of course, not always can you just be... Not all of us want to be brave and stand our ground against a 200-ton lizard. Because in the end, the big ones will always have one thing: a bite force. And they will bite through even the strongest of armor. And in the end, you're at the mercy of their jaws. And then you're nothing but a greasy smudge on the ground. But don't worry. Now, of course, as you can see, my character is covered in types of items he could get his hands on, which was bone, iron, leather, pretty much anything he could get his hands on, and he created his own weapons, which was a flintlock, pistol, and a muzzleloader. He knew blacksmithing, so he was able to create that. But of course, he also went to a military base and remade something. Rebuilt something. Now you're probably going to ask me, what did he rebuild? Well, it's coming in. A tank. Parts of a tank. And in the end, it's the perfect protection against giant monstrosities roaming the earth. He can fit inside, he can be safe, and he could sleep in complete safety. Even though it's cramped quarters, it's still a better protection than anything he could make. He's got his food locker back here, of course. At the same time, he could always, if he needed to, he could take the spear and knock this off. And as the dinosaur was chasing it, it could go on the ground, and the dinosaur would be, and the food would come out of the box like this, all over the place. The food, and the dinosaur would smell the meat, or whatever he had. If it was meat, the dinosaur would stop just to eat the meat, even though it'd be used to even though it'd probably rather have raw prey. But anyways, put the box back on, and of course, it's a pretty good item because in the end, all the dinosaur could do is just smash into it. It's too armored and probably even too heavy. Let's go ahead and make the dinosaur smash into it again. All he could do is, then again, if he ran at it quick enough, like this, he could probably knock it over, but in the end, he's not going to get through it. So in the end, it's a pretty good weapon. But of course, it will always run out of gasoline, and that's the problem. So there are other ways he could probably survive. And of course, there's always the cave option, or a rock formation you can hide in. But still, if he's not the dinosaur you gotta worry about, then there's always the smaller ones. And that's where the armor comes in. If you can't outrun it, you could probably outfight it. Because in the end, I don't think its claws could bite, or its teeth could bite through the armor. It doesn't have the bite force of a T-Rex. So in the end, you're pretty protected thanks to the armor. Thanks to his armor being a mix of metal, bone, and leather, he's pretty protected. But it would only give him resistance against it. In the end, he has to depend on his main weapon. Or he can depend on the other weapon, which is the spear, and hope and pray it, and then just thrust it with his full weight and try to drive it into the dinosaur. But in the end, this is my way of defending. This is my dinosaur apocalypse survival character. So this is the dinosaur apocalypse survival, which is my design, trademark Gladiator. Just kidding, but pretty much I want everyone to take this challenge. I'd really love to see the ideas you guys come out with. It can be vehicles, it can be survival bunkers, it can be anything, any sized creation. Keep in mind, you're trying to survive a dinosaur apocalypse. So it can be just about anything. Like always, comment and subscribe.